she said, she's Scottish, she said that the British pair, the young British pair don't expect to win, but they had a fantastic send-off from Aberdeen schools, Catherine.
That's wonderful to see. You see, rowing is one big happy family. What an explosive start. Again, the small boats just get up to speed so fast, and you see the power and aggression coming through from both boats here.
Yeah, you certainly do. And I think in commentary yesterday, I talked about the power of Wynne-Griffith and Tom George, or the pace and the poise. They've loosened out, I think, since the European Championships where they got beaten by the Swiss. They've loosened out. That's a fantastic shot. And to lead Wynne-Griffith and Tom George, what happened there?
We've already hit the booms, unfortunately, for that Yale pair. And that is, the biggest thing here is we've seen this, that one blade catches those very, very hard, thick wooden booms, and the adrenaline spikes. So the big thing is, how do you react from that?
Normally, he steers straight. He's looking round and he's just seen the booms and he's just got it. He's had to stop because he can't row. So they didn't actually catch the booms, but that's disaster because they really were bow to bow. And I was just going to say, what a fantastic start.
Well, this is it. And the problem is it's still so early on in the race. You are still kind of at your maximal speed. You haven't really come down into that longer race rhythm yet. And so it's incredibly unsettling. I mean, it's unsettling at the best of times to hit booms, but right at the start, it just throws you out of your rhythm. And suddenly you go from being level with this incredibly impressive British crew from Leander, and now you've lost them. They're just sort of ahead of you. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, we've also hit the boom. So there's a lot sort of to deal with, and especially in a coxless boat. You don't have the cox able to take charge and run it. So you've got people, usually the bow seat, giving the calls, who need to sort of calm things down, get them back focused, seeing what they need to do to get back into this race.
Yeah, you just heard a throwaway line from Catherine Granger there. The two Yale men, you can see them rowing in their Yale sweatshirts with the big Y on. The Bulldogs, they were the stern pair of the 1V, the first varsity 8 for Yale this year, finished 4th in the Intercollegiate Rowing National Championships. Designate, hopefully the British pair for the Paris Olympics, but oh my goodness, Geffen and Beeson coming over there towards the British. Oh, this is just amazing. Look at that angle. They are now having to steer. The British are going away from them towards the booms.
The hard thing there was the Yale crew seemed to be, when the red flag was raised to start the race again, the Yale crew were already pointing almost directly across the course. So when they started from a standing start, which means you are back to full pace very, very quickly, they're coming at a very dangerous angle across the course. And
well, you'd think you've seen everything at Henley, and then this comes along. And I don't know if people have words with that crew that crossed the course. There's Wingo, Ollie Wynne-Griffith on the bow, and Tom George, the stroke man, as they go past the halfway mark. They have got a healthy lead against Geffen and Beeson. And I think this would be an appropriate time, Catherine, to offer an apology. I had Ollie Wynne-Griffith and Tom George in commentary yesterday, and I said Ollie Wynne-Griffith had never won at Henley. But of course he had, and I commentated on that race between Yale and Washington. It was a great race. The Bulldogs, there's Ollie Wynne-Griffith in the bows of the British pair, 2015, and Yale famously beat the Huskies in that race, and Ollie Wynne-Griffith was rowing at 7, so he has one Henley medal. But the big but is that Tom George does not have any Henley medals, and for a guy that can row sub 540 on the ergo, he's an amazing oarsman. They lost in the final of this event, the New Zealanders, Donald and McIntosh, last year. So this could be the Henley for T.J.E to get himself a Henley medal. Well,
they are certainly going about it the right way. I mean, this is quite an extraordinary race. You feel for both crews. We've had this sort of crash off the booms at the very start from the Yale crew. We've had the crews having to stop and restart about a third of the way down the course because of a crew impeding them. So they have had a lot of experience. So the winners of this event is truly worthy of getting a place in the final, and with pride.
And maybe a medal as well. But it just shows you can take nothing for granted at Henley. Those booms on the side of the course, and then, other crews coming across. In fact, the booms that we've got there's Tom George. They're both rowing their Zephyrs from Cambridge University Boat Club underneath their Leander tops, because, of course, they rowed in last year's boat race. It was a great crew for Cambridge, but they lost to an even better Oxford crew. But these guys, very strong cantabs, and you can see that from those undershirts that they're wearing.
Yeah, and it's lovely, actually, now that the drama seems to have subsided for now at least, nervously saying that they just are a very classy pair. They have They have this lovely relaxed rhythm, this long reach. They're moving that boat so well and so smoothly through this water. Despite, I mean, again, adrenaline, they will be up and down. The hard thing is when you're stopped so suddenly like that, you know, you'll feel the lactic acid back in your legs. It's very hard to restart in the middle of a race. So really respect to them for getting back into where they need to, getting that lead they have over the Yale crew, and just hopefully managing to take it a little bit easier down the second half of the course.
So there are the inverted commas Americans. They're not really Americans. Miles Beeson, of course, as we said early in Commentary Road, at Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association as a junior. He's got an under-23 gold in the under-23 Cox's 4. He's in the stroke seat, and the bow man in that boat, Harry Geffen, raced at Eton as a junior, and he's got an under-23 gold as well. So they're really strong, this pair. Very, very powerful boat. But do you think Wynne-Griffith and Tom George will be pleased this race is over?
Yes, I do. I think I'll be pleased when it's over, especially if nothing else happens.
Yeah.
But again, you know, a real respect to both crews. These are such uncertain conditions they've raced in, and they're both putting on really beautiful displays of pairs rowing. So I think you know, the rowing itself is a brilliant standard, and you know, this is the luxury that the Leander crew be able to take the rate down. They can save themselves again for the big final tomorrow, like you said. Hopefully get another Henley win chalked up for them both, and they just feel in front of these crowds they get such a brilliant reception, and the Yale crew will be getting the same reception. They absolutely are deserving of this great crowd. To make it, their young crew, still learning a lot of experience they've got just from today, and to make it to the Saturday of Henley is a brilliant achievement.
They are rowing really well, this British pair. Tom George spoke to our colleague Camille Hadlin and, you know, said we're going well, and it looks like it. They won that second World Cup in Varese. They're going to win the semi-final here. Crossing the line now. Wynne-Griffith and George beat Geffen and Beeson in an eventful, to put it mildly, an eventful semi-final of the Silver Goblets and Nickalls Challenge Cup.
I think John Hedger there can be glad it's over as well. That was more than he was expecting. But again, like you say, all 4 athletes there really putting an impressive performance and overcoming many more obstacles than planned. So really great to see that event.